Despite the gains that feminist women have made, we still live in a patriarchy. And the patriarchy is upheld by the invisible and unpaid labor of women, supporting men, edifying and propping up men. And a lot of that propping up happens in marriage. We still have people trying to pressure and shame women to get married. That we run out, we get married, and then women, these wives, run to social media. They are now speaking their truth about what is going on in these marriages. This woman named Tina says, I feel so invisible in my own home. Last night I made homemade wings and fries, showered, shaved, put on good smelling lotion, cute PJs, let him go out. He came home, didn't even look at me. Then, when I barely put my hand on his shoulder, he turned away from me and went to bed. No, I love you. No kiss goodnight. I'm so tired of this. And then she says, also, I didn't let like I control him. It was more like I encouraged him to go out and have fun with his friends. I was scrolling her pictures and I saw so many happy pictures. She puts on makeup to take photos. She's taking care of her children. She seems really happy to be a mother. And then I finally get to a picture with the man. I didn't realize it was a black dude, but they say that they go and they get non-black women because black women are too masculine and blah, blah, blah. But they still treat their preferences the exact same way. Look at this man. He does not want to be here. He looks like he would rather be cuddling up with a hyena or a cactus. Look at his face. She's just smiling, happy to be there with her family. And he looks like I don't know, he would rather be getting an enema or something. I don't know. She is a pretty lady. Like she says, she cooked a homemade meal for this man. She is doing all of the things that the patriarchy says that she should be doing. But she's in a marriage and she is alone. No, I love you. No kiss goodnight. I'm so tired of this. She has 1,000 comments on this. The fact that women are putting these things on social media and having community with women, I know that they are saying, girl, what are you doing? Like the real Mrs. Freestyle says, if there's anything I've learned on threads, is how many women are with shitty men. Why? In the year of our Lord 2025, pretty sure men have proven they are the least capable or desirable beings on this planet. That's the reason why their marketing is amazing. They keep saying this is what you're supposed to be going for. You're going to be alone and sad. You're going to have cats. I mean, who really wants cats? And then some women are still feeling pressured to go out and get one of these people when they can be just this unlikable. And this is just one example, but so many women are saying similar things online. Thankfully, my threads timeline is heavily feminist. Actually, this woman's name is Feminist 13. She says, so far, I've personally discovered that men lack the skill set they need to be with me without burdening me and are unable to communicate at my level of acuity. And I lack the long-suffering patience to accept it. Singleness has brought me peace, even if it's occasionally lonely. But she's lonely and she's single on purpose. That other woman, the first lady, is married and still lonely. That seems to me to be even worse. All right, feminist continues with, I've had 3 long relationships, several shorter ones, and dozens of dating experiences. Every single one has cost me more money than if I'd been single. Every single one required giving up energy I would have poured into my own interest. Every single one required emotional labor and help with communication to get them to express emotions and needs. Every time I had to simplify my thoughts. Like she said, I had to dumb down my language to talk to these people. Make everything easier to understand, soften the facts, preserve their ego, gentle parent, do it myself. She's having to gentle parent a man. She said, every relationship that's brought levity and joy brought an equal or greater amount of dimming my light, keeping my opinion to myself, walking on eggshells. When I stopped doing that in relationships, the men would get mad, aggressive, angry, entitled, bitter. I never once have told a man what to do with themselves. I control me, but that also made them mad. I don't have sex if I don't feel like it. That makes them mad. I don't always want to join their hobby. That makes them mad. When I'm on my own, I'm taking care of myself. When I'm with a man, I'm taking care of two people, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, psychologically. It has been incredibly unequal, and that is very dissatisfying for me. I looked for a partner long and hard who was at least as skilled as me in caring for themselves so that they, like me, could share mutual support. I've never found that. I found more and more labor in each relationship. And so, as we talk about things like pour into yourself, take care of yourself, rest, refresh, and all of that, that means that women are taking away from all of the stuff that they were doing for men, taking back their time, energy, and resources from men. And men are having to do that kind of stuff for themselves, and they are not equipped with it because they've never had to flex that muscle and do it for themselves. And that's the reason why many of them are failing and flailing. Now we have a man who jumped in her comments saying, burdening you. Part of the beauty of a good relationship is bearing the burden jointly of anything that's hurting one person. Seems like you're kind of missing part of the point. And then she responds with, let me clarify. The burden bearing has been unequivocally one sided. Now, here we go. It sounds like you've picked bad men then. She's the problem. She picked bad men. It's always choose better, vet better. Like, you really don't know that these men are going to be needy and need to be gently parented. He says, while my wife and I are getting divorced, she absolutely opened my eyes about how to have a caring, supportive relationship. Why is this man even talking? He's getting divorced. I was an arrogant, overly self-confident guy when I met her. If age appropriate, maybe look for men who have had long-term relationships before. It takes a little while to learn the important things. Like men jumping in to give messages or advice that they're not even qualified for. It astounds me, but the audacity of men is always front and center. He's like, I was arrogant, self-confident, blah, 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 but still trying to give her advice. These people are weird. So we had the audacity of that man. Now we have the audacity that the new siren is talking about. And I'm so glad that so many women are meeting their audacity with pettiness, and I love to see it. So she says, this guy I used to talk to, 49, pregnant waistline, marketing specialist, aka party promoter, asked me why I was 39 with no kids. I shot back, how come you didn't marry one of your 4 baby mamas? He started stuttering on the spot. She said, 49, pregnant waistline, marketing specialist, aka party promoter. I love women. Women are hilarious and creative. The whole pregnant waistline was amazing. It was amazing. Brava. She continues with, this man doesn't work out, always door dashes, and yet wants a wife to cook for him. He can't even make scrambled eggs. Hard ass toll pass. And then this person says, the bumudacity. I love Black women. Just Bree says, pregnant waistline, and then uses this picture. Why does Mouse got this banging body like this? Why? Let me get out the way, just in case you need to take a screenshot of that. Go ahead and take that picture because somebody needs that picture today. So Jasmine says, because they aren't going to be his hospice wife. He's looking for that in you, talking about the baby's mamas, the 4 babies' mamas. And then the new siren says, honey, I'd pull the plug. I love women. She is not going for it. She is going to pull the plug. But that whole pregnant waistline part, that really got me. We need to use that, incorporate that more into your day-to-day vernacular. Say something about their pregnant waistline. I'm going to wrap this with this post from The Magnetic Woman. She says, stop listening to men where it comes to personal and spiritual development. The truth is, how they gained their success often was on the back of their wife's domestic and emotional labor. Of course you can wake up at 5 a.m. and cold plunge, Chad. Your wife is taking care of everything else. Aside from the fact that men are not inherent leaders, women are. They will never be able to show you how to create success, wealth, fulfillment, or even spiritual growth outside of the patriarchy. And I said, as women pull back, as the mom to wife pipeline is drying up, many of them are failing and flailing because they cannot really manage their lives. The women are in the background doing the foundational stuff and the heavy lifting. All right, y'all, join the conversation. Let me know what you think of all these. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I was sent this post. This man posted in the Ask Men Advice subreddit. The way these men talk, they simply do not know that women are opting out of dating on purpose because men of right now, the current crop, is not particularly likable. Like women are not going out of their way to do these things to get men simply because these men are the current crop kind of sucks basically. So this man says, how do you find women who actually believe in equality in dating? I actually have no problem treating women as equals. I actually want an equal relationship. But in modern dating, especially in online dating, it feels like most women don't actually practice what they preach when it comes to equality. They refuse to send the first message. They don't initiate or plan dates. They still expect the guy to pay or at least see it as a negative if you suggest splitting. They expect you to make the first move, whether that's kissing, intimacy, or even asking them to be your girlfriend. After a date, they wait for you to text first. Basically, in the early stages, almost none of them treat you as an equal. They want all the benefits of traditional gender roles when it suits them, but then once they're emotionally invested, then they suddenly want an equal relationship. The last time I really fell in love was when a woman actually approached me in a bar. I really like that kind of confidence, but honestly, it seems like what I'm looking for really doesn't exist, at least not in today's dating scene, where so many women seem to be in their own bubble, romanticizing the idea of gentlemen and being treated like they're on a pedestal. It feels like a lot of them just want a guy who will buy them flowers and treat them to fancy dates so they can brag about it on their Instagram stories rather than actually focusing on building a real connection. So my question to other men is, how do you find women who actually treat dating as equal and aren't stuck in this equality when it's convenient mindset? And honestly, how do you not resent this whole dynamic? How do you just accept this inequality as a given? Just looking for men's advice on this. Of course, anyone can read along, but no need for women to reply. And this is precisely why so many of them will continue to fail and flail because they don't want to hear from women. Women would be best to understand what women want, but they don't want to talk to women. Like this person, like he says, no need for women to reply. And how do you find women who actually treat dating as equal and aren't stuck in this equality when it's convenient mindset? How would other men know this? Other women would know this, but they don't want to speak to women. This is the reason why the male crisis of the epidemic of loneliness, it needs to grow to a pandemic level because they do not deserve women, because they won't treat women how we want to be treated, because they don't know how, because they refuse to ask us. Anyways, let's look at some of the comments from the men. Abrupt Mango says, so use that as a filter. You can spot fakes almost immediately. Stop seeing them as realistic prospects just as fast. Boom, no time wasted. Let's Go Met says, yep. For example, ask them for a walk on the boardwalk on your first date and see how they react. If they balk at it or demand dinner or say things like bare minimum, you can save yourself time and weed them out. When I was single, I also seriously downplayed my career and what I have, especially as most women I started talking to were hyper focused on these things from the very beginning, i.e., first question. So, attempt to take them out on free or cheap dates. Why would a woman get dressed up, put any effort into herself, put on her makeup, put on a dress or something nice just to simply go for a walk? We can go for a walk with our friends. We can hang out with ourselves. That's the thing. They do not know and understand that they have got to overcome a woman's solitude and peace in order to get them to go out on dates. And they have not come into the updated version of the fact that women have jobs. We are working on our own money and careers and stuff. We don't necessarily need your car, your house, blah, blah, blah. Women are getting their own. So what else do you have? Are you likable? Are you going to have some emotional intelligence? Are you supportive? All of that. But since they don't listen to women, they don't know how to treat women. They don't know how to even look for women that are not so necessarily into your money and cars or whatnot. But you do have to put in some effort. Abrupt Mango agrees, saying definitely date me, not my job or my car. I'm going to be around a lot longer than either of those. All right, Cope says just be attractive enough. I can guarantee you that if a woman lusted over you, she would do all those things that you described. You, however, like at least 90% of all men, are probably not that hot, and those women have dozens of average men lusting over them. So why should they do all of these efforts? It's primarily offer and demand. Average women are highly in demand. Average men are not very interesting to average women. This is not a symmetrical situation. Your desirability as an average man is abysmally lower than that of an average woman. The way they talk about us and themselves is so erratic. This is like, they never talk about emotional support, love, caring, all of that. They never talk about this stuff. It's like these people are exhausting. Nightmare Rise at the bottom says, I've told myself I'll pay for no more than 2 dates, and I won't do fancy dinners early on. Simple stuff like ice cream, a fun activity, a walk in the park. After that, if I don't see the effort from the woman, it's curtains for us. So there you have it. These men talking to other men, and this is going to help them remain single. I'm going to pair that Reddit post up with this thread post. This woman says, I went on a date with a man last night. All I kept thinking was, damn, I'm no longer attracted to men. I really must be a lesbian now. It was a dinner date, but he didn't get to me until 10:30, and he still didn't even have a destination chosen. When I come out, he doesn't even get out the car to open the door or hug me. He didn't even bring me flowers, even though he picked me up. Ain't no way I'm more of a gentleman when it comes to dating women than a man. Shaking my head. I blocked him at dinner. She was obviously getting it in the comments. She says, 1, he is not a stranger. I have known this man for some time now. 2, yes, I date men and women. Anyone who wants to date me will have full disclosure. Why would I hide that? It's 2025. 3, I'm in a place of self-discovery and trying to figure out what I want and don't want out of my love life, and I'm okay with sharing my journey. I'm not confused. I'm human and figuring things out. 4, I hold men to the same standard I hold myself when I date women. I'd never expect a man to do what I wouldn't. So she says she is more romantic when it comes to taking out a man than these men are when it comes to taking out a beautiful woman. And yes, this is a beautiful woman. But many of these people are not wanting to put any effort into dating. And women have options, and women have options to stay single. They have got to overcome that hurdle of the peace and tranquility that women have being single, hanging out with friends, and doing things on their own. And they are not overcoming the bare minimum. A lot of people are in their feelings over this woman making this post. She said, let's have a look at some of the people who are making negative comments under this post. I know you effing lying. Some nerve y'all have. And so this is the first person she posted with this struggle hair in a hat that's not covering up the struggle hair. I don't know what this woman said, but she must be a Pik Misha to end up in this lineup with these other men. And then the next 2 men, definitely Chads. Definitely Chads. Artem says, a whole kind of entitlement to expect him to bring flowers, open the door, and hug you. And then she says, when I take women on dates, I do open doors, bring them flowers, and hug them. Why wouldn't you hug someone you have been corresponding with and are excited to take on a date? He says, well, considering that I don't know what you do and do not like, if you have expressed that it's okay, then I get it. But yes, safe than sorry. They do not want to know what women want. They really don't. Women are sitting up here like really explaining. This woman put it out there and they're like, nah, that's not it. But also, you could take some time to get to know women through the phone, through telephone calls, and that kind of thing to see what they like and don't like. But these people are not willing to figure out women. They don't want to talk to women. They want to just talk to men and talk at women. All right, y'all, let me know what you think about all of this. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I was tagged in several of these Am I Overreacting posts from this woman. And what these posts show is what happens or how these men treat the women in their lives once they finally get them into a relationship or get married. This is how some of these men are acting. This woman says, am I overreacting? My boyfriend said I'm the prettiest when I shut up in front of his friends. So the boyfriend is 25, the girlfriend is 22. She says, my boyfriend and I were invited to a birthday party of his friend. The people at this event were all close friends of his from his contract job, and I barely know these people. Everything was going fine, and my boyfriend was clearly having a great time. But at some point, I was telling a story from my school days when my boyfriend interrupted and said, blank is prettiest when she shuts up. Everyone laughed, and my boyfriend just kept going, saying, "You guys don't know what I go through. She never stops talking. I swear to God, sometimes I tune her out from my own sanity," or something along those lines. I'm usually really introverted, but when I warm up to somebody, I'm the type to talk a lot. So when he said these words, I felt so embarrassed and humiliated, especially since he said it so casually in front of people I don't even know. I tried to brush it off, but I got quiet after that. Later, after the party was over, I told him how hurtful his comment was. He rolled his eyes and said I was being too sensitive and that it was just a joke and I was making a big deal out of nothing. He said I embarrassed him by acting cold for the rest of the night and that I should learn to take a joke. He also told me if I couldn't learn to lighten up, maybe I shouldn't come to events with his friends anymore, even though he was the one to ask me to come in the first place. I feel so awful and confused. Am I in the wrong for getting upset and killing the vibe? P.S. Throw away as my main has some personal info. The thing is like he said that she's the prettiest when she shuts up. And then she shuts up and she's cold. These people don't know what they want. And these jokes are just ways to put these women in their place. Like, what do you even expect? And why is that funny? They want a silent bang maid. They want I don't know what they want, but it's certainly not a human, because it does take a lot to come into a group of friends where you don't know anyone. What are you supposed to do? Just sit there and just be quiet? I don't like their jokes. Their jokes and their pranks are just mean spirited. And it's just how they really feel, but then they wrap it up with a little laugh. And it's a controlling technique, it's manipulative, and I believe that this is not going to last if he's going to talk to his girlfriend like this. So that was post number one. Post number two. Am I overreacting? Husband says me taking a bath on vacation is unreasonable. She says, my husband and I spent a long weekend renting a cabin at a popular surfing community. We rented surf gear for the weekend because it was cheaper than the day rental and gave us the flexibility to choose when we wanted to hit the beach. My husband ended up wanting to surf for most of the days and got angry at me for not being game for his plan, saying that I was wasting the money we spent renting surf gear. I was wanting to do some touristy stuff around the town and some nature hikes. He hates shopping and didn't want to go hiking. When we got to our cabin in the evening, which had a deep soaker tub, I was excited to take a soak. I love baths, and he knows how excited I was for the deep tub. He was upset for me for wanting to soak while he has nothing to do. I told him today that I'm concerned about planning another holiday with him because I felt like he doesn't compromise and puts his own needs and desires ahead of mine, and that to me comes across as selfish. I brought up the example of him getting upset with me for wanting to soak in the tub. He got angry at me and doubled down. He said leaving him to be bored in the cabin made him feel like he would be standing around like an effing idiot. I feel so invalidated, and he refuses to see things from my perspective. Am I overreacting? So, this is a relationship. Keep in mind that women are supposed to just be gung ho about relationships, but women are not supposed to have their own likes and dislikes and their own things that they want. They're just supposed to simply be the emotional support animal for their husbands or boyfriends. They're just supposed to go along with their hobbies and not want anything in return. The men don't have to appreciate that we like to do our own thing or even be included in our hobbies. We're just supposed to tag along with them as an extra appendage to their life. That's the reason why these women are opting out, because if they don't even put any effort into dating, like getting to know what a woman likes and dislikes, this is going to be the exact same thing that they bring into a relationship with a woman. And this is the final Am I Overreacting post that I'm going to share in this video. She says, am I overreacting for being upset that my husband woke me out of my sleep to take a nap? She says, so my daughter and I both have the flu. My daughter's symptoms started a few days before mine, so I had been taking care of her while my husband was staying away and continuing to go to work. Then I started feeling like death. and could barely keep my eyes open. And my husband was still going to work until I told him I literally couldn't move. Then he woke me up out of my sleep and asked me to watch our daughter for an hour so he could take a nap. And then I was stuck taking care of our child for the rest of the evening till she went to sleep. Now, I love taking care of my kiddo, but imagine feeling horrible and having to chase after a 2-year-old from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., especially after being woken up and given no time to fully comprehend what's going on. I went off, told him how frustrated I was and pissed, and told him to put himself in my shoes. I was literally forced to fight through my body fighting a virus and to take care of my daughter. He didn't go to work, so why was he so tired and needed to take a 5 hour nap while I was sick as a dog? I never asked this man for anything. And when he's down bad, I drop everything to make sure that he and our daughter are taken care of. I couldn't even get one full day to rest while sick with the flu and spiking fevers. He apologized but told me I was doing too much, that there was no need for all the theatrics, and if I would have woken him up, he would have gotten up to watch our daughter. Am I overreacting? And so I put this one in here because to say that if these people don't put in any effort in the dating stage, in the courting stage, you know that they're not going to put any effort into the relationship. And so when they talk about 50-50 inequality, it's never about 50-50 with participating with the children, doing the chores and all of that comes along with the relationships in the nitty gritty of a relationship, of a marriage, of being parents. They don't talk about that. And what we're seeing with women these days, women are talking about this. Women are talking about these bare minimum dudes that think that showing up is enough. No, it's not enough. You have to actually participate. You have to be involved in your children's life. You have to be supportive of your wife. Otherwise, what is the point of a relationship? Men get more benefits out of a marriage and a long-term relationship than women do, especially when these men just get to exist. They get stuck in being a provider and going to work, and that's their only gig when women have to do far more. And that's the reason why many women are simply saying, nah, fam, get someone else to do it. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think of all this. I know I put several things together, but it's all for a purpose that you see these pranks, these people being mean spirited, not giving a damn what your hobbies are, not giving a damn that you're sick as a dog and can still just go sleep in the other room. Like, why would a normal thinking single woman look at this and say, yep, sign me up? Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.